Hello, everyone. This is Ross Carpri again with Keller Williams Metro South. Today, we're going to do another video for you, and this will be one of 3 or 4 that we've done already. If you need to see any of the previous videos, you're more than welcome to go to YouTube and subscribe to my channel. It's Ross Carpri Realtor, and that's RossCarpri, and then Realtor. And you should be able to find the links and subscribe. If you don't mind, that would be great. We try to bring you a lot of information. Today, we're going to talk about purchasers and families that are thinking about getting into the market to purchase a home. There are a lot of things that you have to do. There are a lot of things that you need to know. And Andy Gagliano with Gagliano Mortgage is helping to sponsor this video for us. And we are going, between the two of us, we're going to tell you some of the things and advise you on ways to make that happen. A lot of times when you get into, if you're living in an apartment or a smaller home and you want to purchase another home, we have to like to kind of guide you on how to get pre-approved, steps to take, things that you need in the process, how long the process takes, what down payment you might need, how much your house note can be based on your debt to income ratio, what is the amount of property you can afford, and what's necessary to make that home purchase that you're trying to do. You typically, there's a lot of documents that the lender needs. We always, as realtors, like for that to be handled up front before you get started in the house hunting process, because we want to know on the front end what's necessary, what price range do we as realtors look for you, what your house note's going to be, talk about homeowners insurance, a lot of the things, property taxes, talk about things like that that most people just kind of take for granted or don't realize it's involved. But it's a very involved process, and that's why Andy and I want to talk to you about that today. So having said that, I'm going to turn it over to the expert in the mortgage business. Let him kind of guide you on things to do to get pre-qualified for a loan so that we can make this process as easy as possible.
Well, thank you, Ross. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to do these videos with you and to share a little knowledge with the viewers. And so, yeah, you hit on it. I mean, it's once that pre-approval is done, it is a critical time for someone's realtor and loan officer to have an open line of communication back and forth, because there's so many things that go into a pre-approval. You know, sometimes we'll get a buyer pre-approved and they are just right at that maximum amount of a mortgage and purchase price that they can qualify for. And I had a situation just this weekend where the real estate agent called me and said, "Hey, I know you've got this client pre-approved for this much money, and that's what she's going to need to borrow is that much money. But the property taxes on this house have not been homesteaded," which means you and I know that means that the property taxes are about double what they would be if they were homesteaded, like they will be once this buyer moves into this house. And because of that, it made the debt ratios higher for this buyer. Now, I was able to go in and rework some other numbers, and we were able to get her pre-approved for that new amount, that new payment amount. Now, still the same loan amount, but the payment amount is higher than what we had originally gotten her pre-approved for. So, but without that line of communication, that open line of communication between me and the realtor, this would have been much more difficult for this particular buyer. And, I'm not knocking any of the online lenders or out-of-state lenders or anything like that, but having that open line of communication is crucial. And a lot of times, especially with the online lenders, it's hard to get the same person on the telephone every time that you as a realtor need to call, but the buyer may need to call as well. And so, that's one of the reasons why we at Gagliano Mortgage think it's important to work with a local lender,
Well,
someone
I
that,
agree with you 100%, Andy, and I can
yeah,
speak from experience. I had a client one time that wanted to use a lender that was requested or recommended by Dave. What's his name? I can't think of it, but a finance
Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I told him, I said, man, in my opinion, I think I would prefer you use someone local that everybody's done business with. We know the track record, we know the things that they require, and it's a lot easier to work with them because they're local. Well, this person chose to go the other direction, ended up getting a mortgage lender from up north,
mm,
and started off wonderful after a couple of days. After that, it became a nightmare,
yeah,
and he almost did not get qualified for the loan.
yeah,
So I've learned from those experiences that you want to be able to pick the phone up and call the person that you can talk to that's handling your account. So many times they'll call, and first day they'll speak to Joe, and the next day they'll speak to Tom, and the next day Janice will come online, and you have to reiterate everything you've done in the past, and it's just not worth the amount of savings that you think you're
yeah,
getting by doing that. So I agree with you 100%. Use someone local, use someone that's got a proven track record, and use someone that you're able to get in contact if you have any problems.
yeah, absolutely. And, once we have somebody pre-approved, that level of communication is critical, but it's even critical prior to getting them pre-approved, to be able to, for you to call me and say, "Hey, Andy, I want to refer John Doe to you, and here's what I know about John, and here's John's phone number." So I call John and I get John on the phone. John and I have a great conversation. John fills me in a little bit more about his situation, his family situation, what kind of price range they were looking for, that kind of thing. And at that point, we send them over to our online application. But we stress to them that, hey, I'm sending you to this online application, but you need to know that I'm here. I'm a phone call away. So if you trip on something along the way, and you want to call me and say, "Hey, what do I do about this?" or "What goes in this blank?" or "Hey, I've got a little unique situation. How do I let you know about that?" Then we're available for those types of phone calls. So we like to have that initial phone call with John Doe and let John know that we're around. We may send him to an online application to complete if he's comfortable with that, but my wife just turned the light out on me. So I'm going to keep going. But we are always here. We're always available. So if someone has questions along the way, then they can reach out to us and have that conversation about what they need to do from there.
Well, that's good
So,
to know. And again, I reiterate, get someone that you trust as a lender. Andy's been in the business for a long time. There's probably very, very little that he has not seen. It's a tricky thing, and there's a lot to it. It's not just a matter of going and back like we used to do in the old days, just a handshake and a kiss. It's not like that. You
that's
have to
right.
get all of your ducks in a row. It makes it easier for the borrower. It makes it easier for the lender, the realtors, everyone that's involved in this process because it is a process. And it makes it just easier for everybody to get involved. Make sure we're all on the same page so we don't have any surprises. And to be honest with you, it's not real hard to get a loan as long as you use the right people. The right people make it easy. So having said,
Yeah.
just make sure you get qualified and use use Andy, give him a call. He'd be glad to help you. We'll take you through the process. And then when it gets to a point where you want to start looking for property, you can contact me and we can make that happen as well.
Absolutely. Yep. That's a great way to go about it. And, we're happy to help out in any way. So Ross, if somebody's ready to make that step and give you a call to go out and look at some houses, how's the best way for them to reach you? Is it by
Best
phone?
way, yeah, best way to call is my cell. I keep it with me until I go to bed at night. It's 205-601-0123. I do get text messages. You can call me or send me a text and I'll give you a call back just as quick as I can.
Fantastic.
You want to give them your numbers as well?
Yeah, I'll be glad to. So my number in the office is 205-979-4412, extension 1. And, I can't promise I won't be on the telephone when you call. So if you leave a message, I will promise that I'll call you back. So do that. And we'd love to help you out or answer any questions, and that's the other thing. To have just an initial conversation is free. There's no charge for that. We often get asked that, after we talk to somebody on the phone, they'll say, well, how much do we owe you for your knowledge today? You don't owe me anything. So, that's just know that I'm here. Reach out if I can ever be of service or answer any questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Andy, for helping me out today. We look forward to getting you some calls.
Thank you, Ross. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Hope you have a great week.
You too.